Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Got kind of a new setup in here. Trying to see what's working. Changing up a couple. And who do we have today, guys? We have Lucky Phoenix, we have Brian, we have Andrew and Dominic. Thank you for joining us for the live stream. Hope the mic is doing well. Again, I tried to set it up a little bit different over here on Streamlabs. Looks like I have to adjust the camera kind of over a little, but we're going to go in here and we are going to do some summons. So we've been looking for Lucilla. Overall, she has been a hero that we're seeing kind of worked into a bunch of different places. We are seeing her utilized within the Curse Realm. We're seeing her in the Treasure Scramble. We're seeing her in a bunch of different places. And it's kind of crazy to think that with the double hero release that we're seeing them used in so many places. Now, out of both of them, since we've had them almost a week, guys, it seems like Liberta is doing a lot more teams, a lot more formations. Overall, it seems like, again, we're seeing a lot more of a presence with this specific hero versus where we're seeing Lucilla at. It seems like, again, she's mainly PvP, but they do work together in a couple of formations. Yeah, there are a few different ones. What's going on, Simon? Shiver do. Matthew is here as well. Thank you guys for joining me again for the Sunday live stream. So we did pick up a couple cards. Now, if you're a light spender in AFK Arena, I haven't been really playing this one as of today, but we do have the deluxe bundle 1 and 2, which you can see we did pick up the pack right here. It's pretty beneficial when you look at the price of 40 Stargazer cards at $15. This was actually, I think 30 cards for $14.99, I believe was the pack. It's relatively cheap. These deluxe monthly bundles or deluxe bundles overall have been something relatively new. That they've been kind of releasing with the discounted if you buy the hero. But overall, I just pick up this one little piece, and that is the only one that we do pick up in there. Again, we're going to do a couple summons over here, see exactly what we can get, guys. We'll get our monthly subscription cards, which are huge. They are very, very big. Howdy, what's going on? Inkasaurus Moneymaker is in the house as well. Lucretia and Liberta trial together, help me climb floor 700. Yes, so I did the exact same, Andrew. So I picked them up and I have been farming the King's Tower. If you guys remember my Celestial Sanctum, we were at about, I would say like 115. Now I'm almost at 760, and that is with the ability or the pickup that we seen there with Liberta. And then of course I gained probably, I would say we run 9 floors this morning in here. And again, that's because of the trial version of Lucilla and all of these guys. We were at 1,000 even last time. We're at 1,020 here. 3, 6, and 6 means we picked up quite a few more cards. So even now, guys, we have 120 Stargazer Scrolls. So definitely getting there. Yeah, the new heroes, it seems again that they're really strong. We're seeing a lot of really positive. I know a lot of players can't build them, but overall, when it comes to the utility of the heroes, they're doing well, guys. Sometimes we get a hero, and especially with the double release, sometimes we'll see one of them work well, or we'll see both of them kind of work well. But just kind of like Joker and Queen, if you remember when Joker and Queen came out, Joker had a lot of utility. Ultimately, Queen had the best utility of all of them. We've seen the same when it come to Geralt and Yennefer. Geralt, unfortunately, not seeing a lot of play within AFK Arena at all. However, Yennefer is still seeing, again, a lot of different play in different game modes. Rem and Amelia, both of them are utilized. And now looking at the 2 new heroes, both of them are being heavily utilized within AFK Arena, which is really cool. So when are we going to see a video or a stream where you spend like crazy money? One day, Apollinaire, I will get there. I don't know, what would we consider crazy money? I'm not sure exactly what Apollinaire would consider the crazy money, or what would fall right into that category. But let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what would be the crazy money to drop into AFK Arena, so we know kind of what budget we're working with. What's going on, Robert? I was able to push to chapter 37, stage 32 using the 3-day trial version of Lucilla and Liberta. Yeah, that's one of the big things, is not only do you get the heroes in the trial version, is you get them maxed out, guys, depending on where you're at. Can make a huge difference when it comes to building those out. And I feel like, let me know if I have to turn the gain down a little bit. It seems like the mic is picking up a little more. It's almost redlining in some points. So I didn't say 1,000 right there. So have you seen the usage of Liberta without Lucilla? Yes. So we've seen it shady. And if you look through some of the battles in here, Liberta is being used in a lot of the twisted realm formations. We've actually seen quite a few lists or quite a few leaderboards that are running him, even right here, guys. Lucilla is not being used in here, shady. As you see right there, 18.11 trillion damage. That is right, guys. Pumping out a trillion damage right there, which is kind of crazy to see. But again, there are a lot of places where Liberta is being used in the same conjunction. Lucilla is not being used in the same formations, and there are a few in here that are running them together. So right here, we see both of them run together, which again, remember, Lucilla is a pretty good buffer overall. A lot of players are having issues when it comes to level deficiencies, and that's kind of the problem that we're seeing, guys, is when it comes to Lucilla and it comes to level deficiencies, because she runs, of course, straight into combat. Level deficiency, she's running into combat, she is just getting crushed, which is hard to see. Crazy money next VIP, or max out all your heroes. Yeah, that would be kind of crazy. Even here, guys, we're at VIP 15, so we are only 32,000, which is not many at all, from hitting VIP 16 on this account. So we are definitely making some progression in there. There's never enough elemental cores. Absolutely, Jordan. When you think of AFK Arena, when you think of any game really, there's going to be a point where there will never be enough resources, short of putting probably tens of thousands of dollars in here. It's kind of crazy to think, but that would really be the only way that you'd get to the point of being able to max out an incredible amount of content in AFK Arena, would be to just go in here and really throw money at it. That's one of the big things, guys. We even went to 1% right here, 1 right here. We're champion 3 within the Legend Challenger, and we're continuing to build out a ton of heroes. Unfortunately, most of the time, Lith, that is in here, is the only one I can attack. Even if I attack once or twice, most of the time, again, I don't have the ability to go any further. This is after the reset. I haven't pushed or I haven't done anything on here. Was eating dinner, then remembered your stream. Oh, thank you, Connor. 500% is a big progression. Yeah, definitely. My monthly time emblem subscription 10 reset today. Oh yeah, getting that, Raphael. If you look, again, fundamentally, when you think of putting any money into this game, guys, the monthly cards are huge. This is huge because you get these extra time emblems. You get one every single day, which gives you an extra 30 time emblems. Then you do get some resources over there, and you also get resources, so building out the cores. The monthly cards are a really good purchase, in my opinion. Again, if you're looking to put a little bit into AFK Arena. Now the store, this has been eating my diamonds up like crazy, guys. That's the reason we just dropped 800 right there, 900 for the reset, and then of course another 300 right there. But I've been power leveling like crazy. If you guys checked out the Resonating Crystal and the power leveling, we're on 775 already. We're sitting on, what, 44,000, so this might even give us another level. We have been making a ton of progression, and the goal with this one is getting to 800. Once I'm on level 800, I'm going to stop buying the essence out of there, because I feel like 800 is a good round number when we get to that point. And also looking at the power, guys, we're at 245 billion combat rating. So definitely making some more progression in there. Just migrated to Sweden. Any advice? Any advice? Migrate to Sweden? That I do not know, but let me know, Kookie, how it is over in Sweden. I've never been there, always wanted to, but have not been at this point. Upgrading, 4 upgrades away from E60 engraving on Rem. Yes, Raphael, that is absolutely one of the heroes, guys, that you want to build. Rem is still used in a ton of places. And also remember, even if you're not building the heroes that are really the best in slot as the #1 best in slot, they are still the heroes that you are going to substitute into all different formations. That's the reason why we've said, if you're building out a hero, if you're building out Demia, if you're building out, the awakened version of Belinda, if you're building out Rem, regardless of really who you're building out, even though some of them within the leaderboard might not be the #1 best in slot heroes that you're building out, but they will still have utility, guys. It's not like when a new hero comes out, like when Liberta comes out, that all of a sudden Rem doesn't have a use. Rem will still have uses in formations. Rem will still have uses in sub formations and other formations. And even here, guys, looking at Rem just crushing it. And you'll notice a lot of places, they're actually not running not running Albedo within the formations anymore, which is kind of interesting to see that Albedo, unfortunately, as much as I love her, it seems a lot of formations we're not seeing Albedo quite run as much as we used to, which is kind of, again, kind of interesting to see. Just missed the past few streams, so I'm glad I caught it. What's going on, Lux? Stuck in chapter 32. Unsure if I should E60 Rem or Lucretia. Honestly, Inkasaurus, stuck in 32, I would probably do Lucretia for the simple fact that you're still at the point where campaign progression is going to be something you really want to focus on. And also with Lucretia, going through the Hypo Tower is going to be huge for Lucretia, guys. When you get into two teams, one team is usually Lucretia, the second team is usually the Charizard. Going through, even at my level, that's kind of the other part of the King's Tower, going through the Inferno Fortress. One team is going through here is based on Lucretia, is usually one team. Second team is usually the Charizard or running with Demia, or excuse me, not Demia, Matrio right in there. Again, depending on who you have, that's kind of the buildup. You're going to use Lucretia, and you're going to use her in the campaign, going to use her in the King's Tower, going to use her in multiple towers, also going to use her in the tower itself. Who should I work on towards Awaken, Baden or Brutus? Honestly, that one guy, I would go with Baden. The reason being, Baden is still the priority in a lot of different game modes, and we are still seeing Baden with a lot more utility, where Brutus has kind of dropped out quite a few. Here's 740 in the Fortress, gives us a couple more essence right there. But the Awakened version of Brutus is seeing a lot less utility. Still has a place, but in far fewer places than we're seeing Baden, guys. Brutus, again, still has a little bit of utility, but when you compare it to Baden, Baden is being used in a lot of other places. I'm not even, where did Baden go? He always seems to move around here. Did he move? He moved to the top. Oh, that's right, because I did it by combat rating. I usually don't filter it by combat rating, but Baden is still being used as the best in slot in a ton of different formations. So if you do not have Baden, you're not going to be able to really maximize those formations because, again, he is still being used as the best in slot in a lot of them. Is Awaken Sophia a high priority? For, again, the min-max are actually using the heroes. She is a lot of places that we used to use the Awakened version of Solus. We are now seeing the Awakened version of Sophia as a buffer. Again, there's not really formations when you start getting into multiple teams that she is not being used. Which again, looking at the Twisted Realm, the Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, Treasure Scramble, even looking at the campaign, looking at the tower, she's used everywhere. It really goes to show, you know, as we're getting the new heroes, as we're getting more of a power creep with the heroes that we have, that we are still seeing, again, a lot of utility with these heroes, Augusto. You have both Brutus and Awakened Solus built. Is it even worth to build Tailene for the temporal right? I would not. I would not. If you're looking, if you have Brutus and Solus built, Duke, I would not build the Awakened version of Tailene. She doesn't have much use. I would still build Belinda, or at this point, because we are so close to having our next Awakened hero, you could wait to see. But the Awakened version of Belinda is still going to have utility. The Awakened version of Belinda is always going to be used, guys, because of the strength that she brings. Again, as of today, she is still the #1 priority in AFK Arena. With that being said, if you build her out, you're going to have a lot of utility with her, Duke. Even if another hero comes out that has a higher priority than that Awakened version of Belinda, that only moves the Awakened version of Belinda to 2. That's really the big thing. You're literally only moving Belinda to the 2nd slot if she is replaced by somebody. Chances are the heroes are still going to run alongside each other. They're going to run together versus, you know, running independently or running in different teams, but they will still be there. I have Brutus to Mythic Plus. Should I build up him? Honestly, if Brutus is already at Mythic Plus, just finish him, guys. We always say to finish one at a time because still going to have utility within AFK Arena. Let's get into the summons here, guys. We'll pop open these chests. But if you already have Mythic Plus, because it's only 3 more copies, I know it might be a couple cards, but I would personally go ahead and just finish out Brutus because you're already so close. You've already invested so much into him. Chances are you already have the signature item built. Just finish out Brutus. Again, you're still going to find utility with Brutus in AFK Arena. He still has a place. It's not like a lot of the Awakened Heroes that are just disappearing. And with the purchases, we did pick up another record. Let's see if by chance we're going to be able to pull a gift out of here. And again, we're just looking for these furniture cards, guys. That's really all that we're looking for. We get some gold, which usually you don't get the big one unless you're buying a lot of different stuff. But we do get some gold out of there. Let's get into the summons. See if maybe we can get lucky. I already have 211 cards. And again, we're saving these for the new one. The Awakened version of Aziz is the only Awakened hero at this point that we do not have built. A couple of these we already have at 5 stars. And then, of course, Stargazer, we are looking for Lucilla. We'll get a couple more copies out of there. What's your opinion on Palmer's new skin? Palmer's new skin, guys, I am pretty impressed. I do like the look of Palmer's new skin. I think for the utility that Palmer has, I love how the new skin looks. I know it is pay to win, guys, but that is really cool. Seeing him in combat, it reminds me of, he went from, just kind of an old archbishop into, Odin. That's what it really makes me think of when you think of Marvel Cinematic Universe. He reminds me almost like an Odin kind of hero. Doesn't even walk anymore, just kind of floats. But the skin overall, I do like it. I'm pretty impressed with how they did the skin. Same with the Will of Gold. I do like Anasta's skin. It is really, really cool. Buy the skin. Yeah, we definitely could buy the skin in there, which I might. I've never bought a skin, Blue Crimson. I have never bought a skin in AFK Arena. Wish list is all set. We still have, again, a lot more Maulers than pretty much anything else. Ivan is the only Graveborn that we have left in here, which means I wonder if we can get lucky, guys. And a double right off the bat, which is food. So we get fodder. We just get fodder in there. Second one gives us, again, a little bit more just fodder. Then we have 2 full summons here, which again, we have a chance to get Awakened Heroes with these summons, guys, and it just gives us some more rare, which is fine. We don't even have enough for a full summon with the card. However, building out and getting these copies, of course, is going to give us some more resources out of here, which means we're going to build. Yeah, never bought a skin either. That's it, Connor. It's kind of interesting. It's interesting. Again, I don't put money into games unless there is a benefit short of the visual, the cosmetic. I usually don't buy those just because I could use, the $10 for the skin to get some more resources, to get some more elemental cores, things of that nature. That's the reason why I don't put a ton in there. But I don't. Do you have a person or YouTuber that you lock up to play the game? Not sure what you mean, Apollinaire. Do you have a person or YouTuber that I look up to play the game? Not really. I would say not really. Unfortunately for me, guys, I don't, as much as I love YouTube and everything that we do, I don't watch very much YouTube. My schedule is so tight between kids and work, and my second channel with the finance channel, this channel with content creation, the editing. There's so much. I very rarely watch YouTube at all. I watch motivational videos when I drive to work. That's really the insight. But even driving to work, I'm roughly, Apollinaire, about 5 to 7 minutes away. So usually I might get through a couple minutes of a video. But to actually play the game, not really. I mean, I talk to Vulcan every now and then. We've collaborated on a couple different things. But as far as actually watching it, haven't really done a lot. Nice to see you. How's your day going? I have great news. I got Lucretia to 1 star. Very nice, Fox. That is awesome. Lucretia, again, is still one of the big priorities here. Heroes, guys. She can do things alone that another hero cannot, that I don't know any other hero that can do alone. Literally, Lucretia is the hero that you want your other heroes to die to really build those out. Who should I gaze for, Liberta or Lucilla or Awaken Belinda until 1 star? Out of those, I would do Belinda. I would do Belinda because either you have Belinda or you don't, which is really tough. If you can borrow Belinda, if you can borrow Liberta, so on or so forth. But Belinda, I would build because Belinda is used everywhere, guys. literally every single game mode when you think there is a point where the awakened version of Belinda, even using Belinda in the Temple Rift, using Belinda in the Treasure Scramble, everywhere I am using Belinda. What's going on, Peter? I have a question. Is it worth to get the $25 pack and get the elemental shards to build? You could, but again, the $25 pack to get the elemental shards, again, I don't really like, and I wouldn't buy the shards. Paul, absolutely. Now that I look at it, I wouldn't buy the shards at all. I would buy both monthly cards and get a lot of the shards out of there versus getting the pack. And you'll also get a bunch of cards to build them out there. What is the finance channel's name? Furry Hippo Finance. I put, and I'll show you the title that, or the title, I was thinking the title, but the banner that won, I revamped it a little bit. It looks really cool over on Furry Hippo Finance. That's the other financial channel that I do. Free on YouTube is the best Cursed Realm, guys. Yes. If you're looking for anything, guys, free to play AFK YouTube. I believe it is free to play AFK YouTube. Has a lot of free to play guides, which is awesome. You talk too much. Please play. Imagine. I definitely will. All right, guys, let's get into the summons here. 120, I get kind of caught up with the chat, and either I play the game and I ignore the chat and I don't talk to you guys, or vice versa. Let's get in 120 cards here. Fingers crossed we can get some copies, and we get one right off the bat. I believe that will take us to Legendary. I don't think that'll take us to Legendary Plus yet. But remember, she still seems to work even without being fully built, which is really good to see. I'd love to see some diamonds here, guys. Or 2 more copies. Getting 2 more copies of this hero would be awesome. Just some more resources. Boom, there we go. We need 1 more copy. We have 60 cards, which could be close. Could bring us really close. And there we go, back-to-back copies. That is why we do it on the stream, guys. We always seem to get very lucky. So that is 3 copies already in 120 cards. Or essentially at this point, that's what, 3 copies in 70 cards? I think that's 3 copies and 70 cards. Could we see another copy? I am hoping, fingers crossed, that we could get 1 more, guys. 2 more pulls. And the final one with our Stargazer cards. We got 45. You know what? I'm going to do a couple singles. Let's do some singles in here. Let's see if we can get this other copy. I would love to see 1 more. And we got to be close. We got to be pretty close. We'll do 4 more. Come on, where is that copy? Or the diamonds, guys. And the final pull, I'm going to save the rest of the diamonds, is just some more resources. We're close, though. We are absolutely close to getting that other copy. And there gives us some more copies of Ogi. And again, I built her up. We put some gear on her, which is awesome. That goes to Legendary. There is our Legendary Plus. And that gives us, what, 1 away? I think at this point we are, what? No, 2 away still. Oh, guys, we are still 2 away from building her up a little bit higher. That's okay, though. That'll make a big, big difference, guys. Literally from going from Elite Plus all the way to Legendary Plus. That is awesome. And 120 cards. I am definitely happy with that. That is good. What's going on, Major? And Trisha is here as well. Is Awakened Athalia better than Baden? They're both really used, Trollface. The big thing is with the Awakened version of Athalia, she is relatively new, so she is a lot stronger than what we see with Baden. That's really the big thing to think of, is because the hero is relatively new, it makes a big difference. It really does make a big difference. Now, of course, guys, when we get the free copy in here, we'll be able to pick up another copy of Lucilla, which means that we need 1 more out of there. War of Truth, I haven't even done today. So I'm going to have to check it out, guys. We'll pick up some more diamonds in here. It looks like we have a boss over here, which already is almost dead. For the Feign formations, I haven't even looked at this to see, but it looks like people are using Belinda. I'm going to pop it in here and we'll do all 3 of our attempts in here. And look, Liberta is already being used in this formation, guys, just like we've seen in the past. I'm only 2 parts of Wandering Balloon Adventures away from being caught up. Very nice, Raphael. That is a lot. I'm enjoying the new event. Yeah, Fox, absolutely. I'm really liking the new event, guys. It's interesting to see how they kind of changed it up a little bit. And I believe the Cursed Corruptor, I believe there is a boss in here once we get through this game mode. But overall, it's nice to see something new. If you guys have went through, the Battle of Blood and the events, a majority of the events that we've done in AFK Arena are just the same, kind of over and over and over. A lot of them they've recycled, so it's good to see something new, and it's good to see some loot. I mean, there's some definite positive loot that we're seeing within this game mode that I'm really liking. We can go through. Look at that, 225. What is that? Billion damage. 225 billion damage. So again, we'll go and we'll get some resources out of here, which is cool. I think so. You can easily borrow Baden. Yeah, and that's it. So it might be to a point where, and a lot of players are wondering how the whales are getting literally so many resources out of this. It's because they're a whale. It's because they're doing more damage to these bosses, guys. Even looking here, we get 3,000 or 3,699 of our star fragments in here, which gives us a lot. You can see right here, guys, the hypos are winning by a significant amount right here, waiting for phase 2 of this. Now we've already went to phase 2 over on the test server to open this up, and it opens up to a PvP aspect of this, which is pretty cool. It's really cool to see the PvP side. I have enough engraving for one E60. Who should I do? Anasta, Iran, Nevi, Raku, Mulan, Leonardo, Amelia, Joan, Twins, and the Chad. Wow, Peter, that is a lot. Personally, Anasta, Orin, Nevi are going to work incredibly well. Raku, I don't feel really needs it. Leonardo doesn't really need it. Amelia is good, doesn't really need it. Same with Joan. I would go Anasta, Iran, or Nevi. Out of those, I would probably even do Orin in that aspect, just because, again, he's used in the best in slot for quite a few different places. Yeah, I would definitely, I would pick up Orin in there. Again, Nevi could be one that you could use. Anasta just gets more of a defensive buff within there, but Orin is damage. He is damage, and that's kind of one of the big things in there. Shocking news, you can play without either Baden or Brutus. Absolutely, Shadow. You can play with whoever you want. Even if you say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to build any Awakened heroes ever. It will still work at all. How do you get so many Stargazer cards after already building the Celestial? We bought some of them offered us. I spent $30. We bought 2 of the packs in there, the packs that they have going on right now. Picked up 2 of them. I believe it gave us 80 cards. Rest of those offered us are farming the towers. We have farmed the towers. We went up. Remember, every 10th floor, you do get additional cards. We farmed a lot of the cards out of there, and I believe we got 10 out of the Voyage of Wonder as well. So they add up. They add up when you're going through there, getting those. Since how many time you play, you're so strong. This has been 4+ years, imagine. It has been a long time since we've been going through here. We are at 4+ years at this point, guys. There is some more resources. And again, as we continue to go through here, and as we continue not only getting the skin, but we're going to get to the point where we can build out the new hero. That's who we're looking for. Lucilla, we have some resources to build out Lucilla. Just kind of waiting at this point. I believe, yep, we have enough cores, we have enough shards. Again, just kind of collecting them. And then we're going to just kind of look at who we want to build. We'll take a look and let's see if we can get a hero here. It is just more food, as always, guys. It seems like a majority of the cards we use are just that. It's just food. There's Kayleen, which is already maxed out. Drez, which is already maxed out. Rest of this, of course, we just use to recycle everything that we have. And we almost have enough for another level in there. So even going through the events, guys, the Beast event is done. Treasure Scramble, we have our team set. Temporal Rift, we're already stuck as of right now. Bountiful Trials, Misty Valley, the Abyssal Range is done as well, which leaves us again for not too much going on with AFK Arena. I've been going through the King's Tower. We can go through here. We can push through some of the formations in here. I know Trish is in here. I've been using Trish's formations for quite a bit of time. Let's put it in here, guys, so I can go ahead and focus on the chat. Yeah, hypos have been doing well. Have been doing very, very well. The Peaks of Time Adventure is so good. Yes. And Raphael, with the Peaks of Time, you get a lot of different loot. You get kind of a little bit of everything, which is the big reason why so many players go through there and finish those Peaks of Time, is you get a little bit of essence, you get a little bit of engraving mats, you get a little bit of beasts. I've been building out and trying to get to level 15 when it comes to the beasts. We've been building those up, trying to get the resonating crystal up to 15. Just going to take time. That is it. Is the new hypo will be decent tier or will be very outdated? Honestly, Javon, the new hypo is being used in a couple different places, which again, normally it takes a little bit of time before we see the heroes used in a lot of different places. There are a lot of different places, again, that the hero over time will be used. I don't know if I copied, I think I did copy the formation, but I believe Trisha has some heroes that are built out quite a bit higher than what we have, which we could hop over and get some furniture. And look at that, guys. It's literally just crushing our entire formation. I didn't do any summons over here. You know what's cool? I started playing this game. You were the first channel that I find that plays. Oh, thank you, Fox. Yeah, there's a couple out of us that play AFK Arena, and it's such a cool game, guys. I mean, again, a lot of other AFK YouTubers out there. I watch some content. We talk quite a bit. A lot of different things. I know Zero that we talk quite a bit. Vulcan, again, a lot of us do AFK free to play. Big shout out to all of their channels, guys. It's really cool to see the collaboration that we can have between a lot of us. Now, again, I think I'm going to leave Belinda in there because we have Lucilla in there. Yeah, I'm going to leave Belinda. We are getting additional furniture and building her out past that 9 of 9. 23,000 Poke coins we've gotten in the last week, which a lot out of events, guys. And there is Liberta. Liberta's already at 3 of 9, which is awesome. I was server first to ascend Lucilla. That was a first for me. Very cool, Shady. That is awesome. Should I Stargaze? Let me see. So Thisu in there. I think Thisu. Thisu's another one, guys. Don't overlook Thisu. He is really big when it comes to the Mauler Tower. There are a lot of formations that I see Thisu in. That's why we dropped him in here. We have Rowan and we do have Mahira in here. Should I Stargaze with diamonds for Liberta, Lucilla, or use my diamonds for 3K summons for heroes like Ivan, Nakaru? Honestly, I would probably go with Ivan. Tamaris, I know Nakaru. Ivan is honestly probably one of the biggest heroes if you don't have the ability to borrow Ivan. Because remember, out of the regular heroes, guys, Ivan will be easy to build. Ivan will be easy to build, and Ivan does have a lot of utility in different game modes. That's probably one that I would use the Desire Hero summons because you're guaranteed to get them. You're going to find that you're building out Ivan much faster than you are with other heroes, which there's another copy for Liberta. Giving us one card on the table, which again, I think I'm going to save that to see who is going to be closer, but that takes him to 5 of 9, guys. We have gotten really lucky right there, but again, that takes him to 5 of 9. Want to get the furniture built out in there. Recycle, I don't think this is going to give us enough to actually do another summon. We could finish out Rowan. We could finish out another hero, but not a big need to. Not a big driving force in here, again, to get these heroes done. I'm just going to save. If it was getting to a 3 of 9 or a 9 of 9 for a hero, that's really a big priority. I might push it a little bit further. But right now, not a huge priority. So again, going through, guys, want to go through. I want to do some progression within the campaign. We could farm up some tower as, again, we continue to make more progression in here. This is what it's about, guys. When you look at AFK Arena, the progression works incredibly well. It just takes time. Really does take time. Yeah, I'm surprised. The big thing, Beacon, is 9 of 9 is not really a big reason. Is Awakened Gear coming? I hope not, Apollonier. A lot of players were also joking about doing furniture. So having furniture for pets or having gear for pets. Again, I don't think that is something that is coming, but I feel like that would be kind of broken as well. If you're looking to gear up the beasts that we have or the pets that we have, I think would be kind of crazy. Working on level 15 resonance is a waste. Couple of level 18 pets. The big thing, Shadow, is again, you have to think big picture. Getting to level 15 residence is going, or beast resonance is going to work incredibly well. Not so much of a waste because when new beasts are coming out, if the beast requires a much higher build out, because eventually, again, big picture, we are taking them all to 18 regardless. I already have 2 beasts because I'm lacking 2 to get to 15. I have 1 again that I'm already taking to 18 right now, which of course is our Slumbering Seal. But again, we're going to get there eventually with all of the heroes. It's just going to take time. That's really it. The beasts are going to take time to get to 18. If there's beasts that are required in the future, let's say a beast requires 15, we'll already have it. We'll already have that done, which is cool. As a free-to-play player, I'm currently in a state of depression. Saban, free-to-play, there's a lot of things about really any game, even outside of AFK Arena included, you're not going to be able to compete on possibly the level that you're looking to or the level that you want to. And you unfortunately have to really understand that. That's really one of the really, really big things is if you have players, and again, this is truly anything. When you look at anything literally in life, it's going to be the exact same. Don't compare yourself to other players. And this is the way that I do it on all of my accounts. Don't compare yourself so much to other players. Compare yourself to where you were, a week ago, a month ago, a year ago in AFK Arena. Makes a big difference, guys. You're never going to be in that top 1% if you're not willing to really pay and spend what the 1% of players are going to spend. And that's period. I'm okay with it. I stay in about the 10 to 20% is where I'm comfortable with what we're putting into AFK Arena. Again, I know I'm not going to be in the 1%. I know I'm not even going to probably make the 5%, 10%. But again, you have to be okay with where you're at, depending on what players are putting in here and how much you're putting in there, because it's going to make a big difference. It is really going to make a big difference. My current level cap on the main cap is 495. I'm 409. Yeah, Raphael, you might want to level up a little bit. Again, makes a big difference when it comes to levels in the towers and the campaign. Those are two of the biggest things that do make, honestly, a really, really big difference are literally those two things where the levels are a big, big driving force. Is Lucilla worth building? Keck, honestly, I would go with Liberta first, just because, again, we're seeing a lot more utility. From the heroes, we are seeing a lot more utility. I love hearing your voice in the sound financial advice. Thank you, Jordan. Most of you know, if you don't know, I do financial education. I do financial counseling. I do the whole financial part as a professional. That is what I do with my credit union. I'm a certified financial counselor through the state of Michigan. We do a lot of finance and financial planning. That was the reason I've had a lot of people ask me if I have a YouTube channel, if I'm on TikTok, if I'm on Instagram, a bunch of different places with the financial education piece that they can carry outside of what I actually teach in my office. That was one of the really, really big things to start it. Don't have to use the little mauler in the formation as long as you have a fourth. Can be anyone. I use Isold and Rigby. Oh no, Trisha. Trisha was using Isold and Rigby, guys. You can see right there in the chat. Isold and Rigby were used a couple of times. That is sad to say, but it is there. What's going on, Martog? One small question. Should I build Awakened Belinda first? I have Mythic Solus and one legendary copy of her. Honestly, I would probably build Belinda. Like we said before, Fox, when it comes to Belinda, Belinda is still the strongest hero in AFK Arena. That is one of the big things. If you're not building that Awakened version of Belinda, Scarlet is the real good sub, like what Peter said. However, Belinda is kind of broken in formations if you're building her. And again, looking at the places that she is best in slot. That's one of the big things is best in slot is in a lot of formations where we see Belinda. Big picture is Seal, Lion, Owl, stoking so big in various game modes that it offsets. So the other big thing to remember, Shadow, is when you're running 6 teams. So that's the other big thing. Like right now, the spider's being used in a lot of different formations. If I didn't have that spider built up to, I believe I have them at 12 right now. Getting the spider to 15 is going to make a big difference. Getting all of the other, beast up to 15. Even having a Seal, Lion, Owl bigger, even having them at 18 is going to be beneficial in the 3 teams that I'm running them in, not so much in the other teams that I don't have them kind of built in. And of course, guys, we have the Thorin cheese. Thorin, of course, Thorin cheese is going to work. What heroes are prioritized for the Nightmare Corridor? Interesting enough, so Nightmare Corridor, Robert, we have a couple in there. The Awakened version of Athalia, and it looks like Thorin gets it done. What, second shot to get that that mode done. And again, I'm going to look at Trisha. And again, I see the hero in here. Now, we have a baby version of that same hero right there. So we don't have the engraving. We don't have the 1-star. We don't have the engraving, but I think it'll work. I think it'll go, what's going on, Little Slayer? And Noah is here as well. Yeah, so some of them do work incredibly well in the Nightmare Corridor. Like some of the kind of outliers, I guess, in a couple different modes. Number one being Crescio. Crescio is a hero that really is broken in the Nightmare Corridor. A lot of players do run Crescio in the current rotation of the Nightmare Corridor. Most of the other heroes are priority heroes everywhere else. So again, when you look through and look, boom. Look at that, 68, 20 billion from our tank. But of course, guys, our level 16 seal puts out 90 billion damage. That is why Slumbering Seal's at 16. We're taking the Slumbering Seal to 18. Just like what Shadow was talking about. We are taking a couple of the pets much higher, which is the build. And there's Rigby, guys. Rigby's going in. I can't put Rigby in. I'm sorry, Trisha. I cannot bring myself. Just because Rigby is level 1, I'm going to take out Rigby in there. Oh, you're welcome, Fox. I love doing why Lucilla is needed. Is she more needed than Lucilla for PvP? Not sure what you mean. Lucilla is being worked into a couple different comps. Again, I don't feel like there's a mega huge priority when it comes to Lucilla. I do see Liberta being used again as a huge priority in a bunch of different formations, which is the reason why I recommend building him first, building Liberta first, just for the simple fact, again, that we're seeing the hero used in a lot of different formations that we're not seeing with Lucilla. That's kind of the big thing. Level 18 seal is key to the broken Cursed Realm scores. Level 15 doesn't even come close to offsetting. It's getting there, Shadow. And you know what? He's at 16 now. I believe I have 1 copy. So we're even getting a little bit closer to having the hero built as well. We're getting there. What's going on, Alex? Thank you for joining us for the stream. Get sealed to 15 to 18 first. Yeah, and that's it. You can kind of you can go back and forth with it. It's the forever questions that we'll have within AFK Arena. So do you build pets? Do you build the beast first? Or do you go in and not build the beasts and build the heroes? Do you summon the heroes versus getting the Celestials and Hypogeans? Do you focus on the Awakened heroes versus the Celestial and Hypogeans versus the 4 core heroes versus the beast versus the the building the furniture out? There's a trade-off for everything that you guys do in this game. And again, you have to realize that, and most players do, there's a trade-off to one thing that you build. There's another thing you're not building. There's, like I said, if I'm focused all 100% into building beasts, it's going to make a huge difference because, again, we're going to be focused on building out all of the beasts and taking them to a much higher level. Does that mean we're not building the other heroes? Yes, of course it does. That means all of my resources are going into getting baits versus getting other things that could be used within different game modes. It's kind of, like I said, kind of a trade-off between all of it. Who should I get as my second E60 unit? First one, Focus Rem. I'm thinking of going Lucretia. Yeah, Noah, that will work incredibly well. Again, guys, when you look at Lucretia, Lucy, she is a hero that still has a lot of utility in a bunch of different game modes, and we still see it. We still see it on a regular basis with the ability for the hero to do an incredible amount of damage. There's a lot of game modes, again, where she is the sub in a lot of different game modes. It's not like because the hero's a little bit earlier that you're not going to use her anymore. I still use Lucretia all the time. I still do use, even at chapter 51, I am still using Lucretia in a lot of different formations, which works incredibly well. It still does. I don't know if it's me, but it looks like Crescio has the Lucretia Iran factor. Yes. So the big thing with damage dealers, Paul, just like you said with Crescio, is with the majority of the higher damage dealers, you have to have them built out, and you have to have them built out significantly for not only the skills and abilities, but also the stats that they have. That's one of the big things is, again, if you look at all of those damage dealers, guys, you have to have them built out. You really do have to have them built out. My entire Nightmare Corridor is a lot. lost cause, too many whales. That's the same thing. So if you have an older account, Shadow, I see the exact same thing. When I look at even the first 100 players, they are whales and everybody is maxed out with shining stars. Again, I know I'm not going to be in that very, very small niche that a lot of players are in because we don't put it. At what chapter of the event ship opens the heroes to get the bonus? I believe the ship comes from opens the heroes. I believe the ship comes from the having heroes ascended. I don't think it is from leveling up. I think it is from having heroes ascended. If I remember correctly, I think it is like 10 heroes ascended, or it might be a little bit higher. It might be a little bit higher for the amount of ascended heroes you need to get the advanced ship to open. But I thought it was 10. If I remember, again, it's not by your current progression in levels, but I think it is from where you're at in having heroes ascended. Is Hodgkin worth engraving? I did not, Raphael. I do not have Hodgkin built. Damia is probably the best celestial hero ever created. Yes, I would say between Twins and Damia, super, super strong, Peter. Damia, of course, has the immunity to keep players alive, which is huge. Guys, if you can have a cheat death for the entire team, taking them to 20%, it's huge in a bunch of different. Do I finish Damia or start building Liberta? Damia, I would probably stick with Damia a little bit. If you already have her at Mythic, for the simple fact, Blizzy, is Damia not only has a lot of utility in different game modes, is Damia also does a ton of damage. That's where a lot of players, again, if you don't have Damia really built out, you're going to be missing some of the damage that she's putting out in a lot of different game modes, which again is something we're really seeing with her. When you get 5 main pets a resonance to level 6, any new pet will be automatically to 6. Yes, Carol. That is the big reason why we say to build them out. Right now, I have my beast resonance, of course, at 12. We're going again to 15. If a new beast drops, just like the spider just did, I took the spider up to 12 the day that I got him. If I was at resonance 15, I would have that at 15 already. Every single future beast or every single future pet that you go up will be available. That's, again, that is the big thing, is you'll have access to them. I think food should be bought by gold. Yes, absolutely. I think with the amount of beasts that they have, they need to make it easier to get the food. That was one of the reasons why they came out with the fantastic beasts, so we could actually see it in there to build it. I remember this. Yeah, it seems like this stage is a pain. And of course you have Orthos. Orthos is one to deal with, guys. And so is Treznar is another one. Because remember, you have to kind of kill Treznar twice in here. Once with the dismount of the horse. So that's, again, the RNG factor that we see with the Thorn Cheese, guys. It works, but sometimes it does kind of take time. Yeah, Carol, like I said, you get the new beast all the way built. Liberta and Lucretia stargazing for a new account. Argus, honestly, I would still at this point probably go for Lucretia, because the big thing with Lucy is you're going to have the ability to, when you hit 2 teams, you're going to have the ability, your second team will be Lucretia. Your second team will be Lucy, which again is huge within different game modes, because you're going to be able to have Lucy run that second team. You'll also be able to grind out an incredible amount of the Hypo Tower with Lucy being solo. Even on the free-to-play account, guys, I pushed to 2 teams with Lucy solo because she can do incredibly well. Who is better, Awakened, Athalia, or Matria, or save cards? Tay, this point, I would probably save cards if you haven't been building either. I like both of them, and both of them really do have a use. Big thing with Matria is Matria does require a couple other hypo heroes. If you're running her by herself, she's not as effective as we see with running a couple other hypo heroes. But again, I would wait at this point, because I think we're only probably a couple weeks off from having a new Awakened hero, which isn't going to be long. It's going to go by very, very fast. Ivan or the Tiny Tank? I would pull Ivan, Paul. Ivan, of course, used as a support hero and a buffer in a lot of different situations to really maximize damage. Now, Ivan doesn't have to be built out super huge. And there we go, guys. Thorin gets it done. Boom, 229 billion damage for the retaliation, which is awesome. And then of course we have Rem and or Ulna and Rem. Ulna and Rem works very good. You talk about peanut butter and jelly, guys. Just because of course Ulna's going to keep Rem alive. Rem's damage is just stupid. Silas even there just put on the immunity for Rem, making it easy to get through there. I just pulled for Liberta, got 12 copies with 380. Tomorrow I will get one free for him, 3 more pulls to get him to 1 star. I think the only problem with him is too squishy. Yes, so the big thing is there's a lot of different game modes that you're going to see Liberta work incredibly well within different game modes. And you'll see it where you got to have somewhat of the defensive, and that's with most heroes, somewhat of a more defensive play with Liberta. But also remember, guys, is Liberta is being used in a ton of other formations. Again, Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, Treasure Scramble, going to be used in a lot of those different places, which are going to work incredibly, incredibly well within those formations specifically. So when it comes to level deficiencies, you're talking an entirely different game. Guys, when you're getting, even here, we're at a 300 level deficiency. Most heroes that are super effective or super efficient in a lot of different game modes are not going to have the ability to be effective in every game mode. And a lot of them will not be effective within game modes such as this. Again, just because of the design, how the heroes are built, who the heroes are being run with. And that's why I said when it comes to levels, when it comes to level deficiencies, when it comes to different game modes, a lot of heroes are super effective in one mode, super effective in another mode, or some of them are actually super effective in both modes, which when you look at like Rem and Amelia, super effective again in a multitude of game modes. Do I know when Rem and Amelia are going to be garrisoned? And I'll read it in just a second, Peter. I just seen that. Usually about 6 months after release. So I would say probably within about the next month, you'll start seeing them into... Let me just throw in Mickey's formation and we'll go through and we'll answer some more questions, guys. We're at about 52 minutes right now. Haven't had any subscribers. We got a new alert box on here. If anyone hasn't subscribed, guys, now is the time to subscribe. But Rem and Amelia, similar to what we've seen with Yennefer and Geralt, it is about 5 to 6 months after the hero was released that we actually see them go into the garrison. So I would say we're relatively close at this point to have them go into the garrison, but it might still be a little bit more time before we do see them in there. Is the new opposing sibling hero doing good? Yes, they are, Peter. And again, it seems like some of them are running independently. So we're actually seeing Liberta used in a lot of different formations and Lucilla not being used in as many, but she is absolutely being used. We are still seeing, again, we are seeing the utility of the hero used, and both of them used in a multitude of game modes, which is really cool. Always nice to see players reach almost ascended with the number of cards. Yeah, and you can barely reach. I don't know. I think Shadow's account is cursed. I think Lilith has put the hex or the voodoo or whatever you want to call it. That has been incredibly, incredibly difficult to pull the heroes in there for Shadow. When should I start spending diamonds? So the general rule of thumb, and this is what we kind of fall back to, the general rule of thumb when it comes to stargazing, so when you get to the point that you are going to use the stargazer, is when you've gotten your faction towers to about probably 25 plus. Now what happens, Noridi, is at 125, you start getting stargazer cards out of the towers, out of the 4 primary faction towers. You will start getting stargazer cards. Instead of spending your diamonds to get those, you will farm stargazer cards out of those places, which means you're going to use the cards versus the diamonds. Once you start again officially getting those built or getting those kind of built in and getting the cards out of the tower, that is the point when you can start stargazing, is when you're farming the cards. What happens the majority of times is if you start farming too early, if you start putting diamonds into the stargazer, you're going to build up one hero and one hero specifically without the ability to farm additional cards. That's going to be, again, kind of where you're stuck at that point. And look at that. Big shout out to Brian, gifted 5 memberships, guys. Look at that. Awesome to see the hippo. We have Shadow, Thad, Carol, Noah, and Roy. Our gifted memberships. Awesome to see. And I don't think I heard the alert go off, but I did see the little box right there. It should show up again. We redid a lot of the things in here. You can tell it does look a little bit different. So I think that's going to pop up here in our stream in just a moment with the boxes. But thank you, Brian, for gifting those memberships. It is really, really cool to see the gifted memberships and seeing the hippos right next to your name. It is awesome to see. But yeah, like I was saying, Norito, that's kind of again, the general rule of when you want to start stargazing is when you're starting to farm cards out of the Stargazer. What should I buy in the lab store after Joan? Which material is most cost efficient? Noah, I build out and I buy first. I actually buy all of the space emblems. If you don't have all of the dimensionals already at 50, I would buy out the space emblems in the Labyrinth store. They are huge. It is very, very important to get the space emblems out of there because remember, every time you're buying out those space emblems, you're saving red chests. Those red chests can go over to other heroes, which again is kind of the big thing is you want to save, again, you want to save those resources to the point where you're using red chests on the heroes that you don't have built and you're using space emblems to build out your dimensional heroes. Personally, I build my dimensional heroes with the space emblems. I do not use, I don't use the red chest. It is, and again, kind of in my opinion, it is not worth using the red chest in there to go ahead and build all of those out. I find it a bit better to spend diamonds on dust in specific summons to be able to farm towers. Yes, George, and you're spot on right there. Building up the levels is going to, of course, make it super easy for you to actually go through and farm the towers. Farming the towers is going to give you cards, which is exactly what you're trying to do, is building them. Wouldn't the green pet work better than the black one? Yeah, I can drop the grassy orb in here. Wasn't even paying attention again. I like being able to set this so I can actually talk to you guys, which is awesome. Why dimensional heroes have no skin? Imagine Albedo with the summer skin. So RS, the big thing with that is a lot of the dimensional heroes are, and they cannot change. So if you guys know, again, when we started the dimensional heroes years ago, they can't skin Albedo because Albedo is unique to, to the game that Albedo came from. Same with all of the heroes. They can't reskin them unless you have I guess from my understanding, kind of the updated contract on the ability to make additional revenue on the tower or on the heroes themselves. So again, when you look at Persona 5, when you look at, all of the games, when Ezio came in, when Rem and Amelia came in, they have a contract and they can't change the heroes. So cool, would be definitely cool to have the new skins in there. But they can't change those. I love your content. Very, very much respect. Thank you, Carol. I love doing it. I farm the tower with pets. Shadow is back to farming the tower with pets, guys. Shadow is killing the pets. And it looks like we got that one done. I wasn't paying a ton of attention in here with what's going on in the chat. I love being able to talk to you. I forget that we're sitting here playing a game. But Rem and Amelia, guys, again, two heroes that literally just crush it in the game mode. I think we have, one more, which should be pretty quick. Usually when it comes to Belinda and when it comes to the combination of Leonardo, guys, if Leonardo can get the crowd control up, Belinda's damage amplification just goes through the roof, and it's kind of crazy to get that done, guys. But that is 3 boss stages that we got completed in here, which is awesome. We're what's that, a quarter of the way through. You can see, guys, players are starting to make their way into 51. But again, I believe we got 3 stages through, which is awesome. Gave us quite a few more diamonds. And I'm wondering if by chance we could pick up another copy. I know we had to be close. And I don't know, Shaman, big shout out to Shaman, that Stargazing Flora. Probably not my first choice in here to actually be Stargazing Flora. But unfortunately, sometimes we do see it, guys. There is Flora is definitely going to be used because she's being stargazed for. One more poll here. Could it be? No, it is more resources. That's okay, guys, because we got some more resources. Again, every time that we're in here and we're doing our polls, we're getting closer. We are definitely getting closer. What chapter can we summon guaranteed selection heroes with 3,000 diamonds? That again, Kooky, let me show you. So it is in the Field of Stars. This is, I believe it is Tatey. In here, this is the hero choice pack, guys. And again, I believe the Soul Star is unlocked when you have 10 ascended heroes, and the ascended heroes do not count dimensionals. That's one of the big things. And then you get the choice summons as you see, additionally, one monthly pack draw. As you're unlocking all of these, you do get additional chances. And right here, this one unlocks your hero growth bundle. Like we talked about a little bit before, this is the big thing with the hero growth bundle. He is stargazing 3 floors to trade for 1 Liberta. Then why not just go in there, George, and summon for Liberta? That's kind of a need. I actually need 1 more within the rickety cart. You can see, guys, we have, of course, we have these 2 copies that we've gotten for free. Even one in here, guys, if I had 1 more copy of anyone, which I don't think they're giving us anyone free, I could actually swap this one out as well, which would be pretty cool to see. Do you think the campaign rewards are still kind of bad? Yes, Apollinaire. The campaign is probably one of the most underrated or undervalued things within AFK Arena. Pushing through the campaign does not yield you almost any rewards at all, which is super disappointing. I would love to see a lot more in the campaign itself that we could actually utilize in rewards. I feel like, again, just like you're saying, I feel like it's super underestimated to go through there. I figured it was, George, but I always like answering them. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Flora's making a comeback for the PvP aspect. And congratulations to Paul. We like doing the gifting of the membership every single time that we do the stream, guys. But overall, we got some good progression in here. Again, kind of moving through the ship. Gave us some resources right here. And boom, gives us some more resources right there. We're definitely going to get her build. We want to get the skin. And then, of course, we want to build Ivan. We want to build Naruko. A lot of heroes we still want to build, including the Shroom Spider, guys. Like I said earlier, we're trying to get these to 15. Slumbering Seal, I am taking to 18. So we are definitely getting there, guys. We have 2 right now, but again, I'm just kind of saving to see exactly who we get built. And then I only need 2 more to take them all to 15. And then again, it's going to be the focus to 18. Just like you said, Shadow, we're going to be moving all of these. So all of these are already at 15. The seal right here dancing is at 16. So I have the owl that I'm taking up a little bit higher to get to 15. I need these last 2 to 15. And then again, we're focusing everyone to 18. Once we hit 18, 18 is done, guys. And look at that. There we go. So the new membership showed up for Paul. Not sure why exactly the other ones didn't show up, but really, really cool to see. Again, Temple of Ascension. We're going to go through here. It's going to let me just combine Flora again so we don't use it, which is kind of funny, but kind of silly at the same time. So in here, guys, I'm going to continue farming out the King's Tower. We know we're going to get a free copy within there. I don't think, it looks like my team is actually Mr. Don is going through here right now. But I'm going to go through here and we're going to farm up more tower. We need more cards. We have been farming and we've been going in there and just building out more and more cards at this point. Who is the next Awakened Graveborn? I am still calling it, guys, and I am still calling that it is going to be the Awakened version of Shamira. She is still the one that I want more than anyone. I am still calling it. I hope that I am very, very correct in this avenue, guys, that it is going to be the Awakened version of Shamira. Thank you, Tech, for watching. Still the one. Now, when it comes to the Wilders, again, a lot of players are still speculating, saying it is going to be Orin or Iran. This is the one that a lot of players are speculating, but they are also speculating Tassie, because we know Tassie in the Awakened Taylene and the Awakened version of Aziz has still kind of played in there, so we could see something in there with Tassie. They might throw a curveball like they did with last one, so again, it's going to be kind of interesting to see exactly who we get out of here for the next Awakened. But again, fingers crossed, guys, I am still hoping for Shamira. Shamira is still my go-to. Shamira, I am still hoping, is going to be the #1. Trisha is saying Oden. That would be interesting as well if they did Oden again. I don't know. I don't know, because if you remember originally, they said they would not use any of the meta heroes that we see within formations. Now I know he's not super meta anymore, but it's going to be very interesting to see exactly who is going to be used. Who's SI to build next? Rosa, Anasta, Antandra, or Palmer? Yeah, Antandra does well. Rose does well too. So does Palmer. I mean, all of those. This is really pretty decent for Palmer if you're using him as the damage amplification. Rosaline, I think she adds what, the crit. I believe this adds crit, which is big. If you're building out Antandra has to be built out, guys. If you don't have Entendre built out, especially with this E60, it doesn't have the survivability for the hero. But again, not really a ton of utility cases with that hero. And in here, this again is going to go with the survivability. That's a tough question. Again, when you look at Palmer's not being used as much now that we have Ivan. But yeah, all of those eventually you want to get there, Robert. Rosaline I like because Rosaline and Belinda, of course, combination together. Palmer and Anastar are both being used. But again, if you're using Entendre, that is going to be a really big one. That is going to be huge. Oh, you're welcome, Paul. Like I said, we like doing the gifting memberships, and big shout out to Brian for gifting all those memberships. We do it every single time. They did, but they mentioned him during Awaken Sophia. So there you go. So they did mention Oden during the Awakened version of Sophia. But I think a lot of people are going to be remiss if they don't do Shamira, guys. I would be super disappointed if they did not do Shamira in that aspect, just because, again, if you played AFK Arena for a while, Shamira was always the go-to for an incredible amount of time. But all right, guys, so that'll do it for our stream for Sunday, guys. Amazing, and I love that you guys come and join me for the streams every single Sunday. It's something that I absolutely look forward to. We have a lot more that is coming. Again, this is going to move. The War of Truth is actually going to go to the next phase, I believe, 5 more hours. So tonight on Reset is going to go to the battle phase. So we'll actually be able to fight each other during the PvP combat aspect of this. And we built all of these up. I believe every side built all of these up. But overall, you can see, guys, the hypos are still winning. Even on the test server, hypos are still winning in here. Have a lot more rewards that are coming. That is really one of the very, very cool things, is we have a lot of rewards that are coming out of here, including some more Stargazer cards, some more diamonds, going to be able to do some more summons, going to be able to build out all of those new, all of the new heroes, at least to a point. If you're still building Demia like I am, still going to have more cards to build out Demia, which is really, really cool to see. All right, guys, again, that'll do it for Sunday's stream, guys. Have a good weekend. A lot more content coming from AFK Arena. And as always, thank you guys for watching.